This is Alivia. She is an ambitious, bright-eyed 7-year-old with a birthday coming up. She loves to read, write, draw, and play teacher with her friends and brothers. The only problem with playing teacher is she needs a chalkboard to teach her class. So, I decided to make her an art easel classroom chalkboard thing that she can let her imagination run wild, drawing and writing when she is not teaching her students. Let's get started. For the legs of this project, I'm using common 2x4 lumber. I started by cutting the legs to a rough length. After ripping the legs to their final dimension, I then cut a 10-degree bevel on the top and bottom of each leg. Using a piece of scrap 1/2-inch plywood, I cut the support that connects each leg and cut the same 10-degree bevel on one side. With the pieces all cut, I laid them out and attached them to the support pieces on one leg at the top. This allows me to mark and cut the opposing side of the support pieces before attaching them with screws. Now for the writing surface itself, I'm just going to use some 1/4-inch plywood. Attaching the writing surface is pretty straightforward, just glue, pin nails, and screws. For my design, I only use screws in the corners, as this will get covered up by a piece of trim later. Now with the main structure complete, I can measure to get the final dimensions for the tray. The tray goes together with glue and 1-inch brad nails. Using a piece of scrap 2x material as a spacer, I can center the tray on the easel and attach it with screws. For the lower dowel used to hold the paper roll, I made some standoff blocks to give space for the paper to clear the back of the writing surface. These are just attached with glue and screws. The upper dowel rides in holes on the support pieces and is locked in with a slot that rides on a small piece of plywood. Here is a video showing how it's supposed to work. I got this design from Bob, but I like to make stuff. He goes into a lot more detail about this design in his video. Check it out here. Next, I can cut the trim pieces to length and rip them down at the table saw. On one side, I cut a shallow dado to allow space for the paper to fit behind them. I then use glue and screws to attach them to the easel. With those attached, I use drywall compound to fill all of the screw and nail holes before applying 3 coats of latex paint, sanding in between coats. Then I attach some decorative lettering and the whiteboard, as well as painting one side with 3 coats of chalkboard paint. And just like that, the easel's done. After the paint is dry, I installed the roll of paper. This is a bit tricky at first, but I found that if you fold the paper to make a point, it was a lot easier to get behind the trim boards. Well, Olivia, here it is. I don't know if you'll be a teacher when you grow up, but one thing I do know is that you can be whatever you set your mind to, and don't let anybody tell you you can't. If you like this project, and don't forget to subscribe. Please like it and share it on social media. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section.